Oklahoma City, a fan base stunned by late game heroics from the Pacers in game 1 of the NBA Finals. Paycom Center in downtown, that's the venue. Game winners, they were on the menu in game 1. Tyrese Halliburton.
That's how you come to work.
Serving them up.
Don't iron your shirt, just put it on, Ken Dog.
He's hit a game winner in every series in this postseason run. 38 from the MVP in game 1. Time to get you ready for game 2 of the 2025 NBA Finals.
Got that John Lennon on.
Tyrese Halliburton did not light it up all game, but when you needed a bucket late, he provided it.
Let's go! Tyrese Halliburton does it again! This crowd absolutely stunned.
I did not expect this.
I just know that this group is a resilient group, and we don't give up till 0 on the clock.
What a victory for the Pacers.
We lost game 1 before. We came out a better team and moved forward and do better.
It was in this building 3 nights ago that a shot was hit that will go down in NBA history. Tyrese Halliburton doing the honors, and now the Indiana Pacers have a 1-0 series lead in the 2025 NBA Finals. Welcome to Game Time Live at the Finals, presented by YouTube TV. You know the 8 rings on this set. Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, and also Isiah Thomas. Guys.
I thought he was on NBA TV.
What did he say?
He said YouTube TV.
No, that's the sponsor, Shaq. I know you know a lot about the brand, right?
Hold on. I work for NBA TV, boy. You about to get boy, about to get up and leave.
And you miscounted.
That's right. YouTube ain't write me no check. How they write your check out
4,
there?
Right.
4.
8 plus
8.
1. Stephanie Reddy.
There you go. Hey, Kenny. You get props for that, my man. We can't forget Stephanie Reddy. She coached the G League team to a championship, so she gets kudos for that.
Yes.
Stephanie always
G League is a
ready.
professional league. And
Pioneer.
First woman coach.
Pioneer, Stephanie
9.
Reddy.
We
Well,
got 9 on the set.
Before we hear more from these guys, let's take a look back at Tyrese Halliburton's game winners just in this playoff run.
5 seconds. 4 seconds. Halliburton from the lead. 1.3 to go. Pacers by 1. Halliburton steps back and hits. Tyrese Halliburton trying to take Cleveland's heart. Halliburton. He'll take it. He'll backpedal a 3 for the win. And go! He got it! Halliburton looking. Halliburton driving, pulls up, jump shot. It's good! It's good! With 0.3 of a second remaining. Timeout, OKC. Tyrese Halliburton does it again.
History in the making, Tyrese Halliburton. Look at that. Doubling up LeBron James and Kobe Bryant. Most game-tying or go-ahead field goals in the final 2 seconds in a single postseason in the last 20 years. You could do the honors here, having been teammates with each of those two guys. How incredible is it to see Halliburton more than both of those guys?
You know, I think for him, his guys having confidence in him to take that last shot. And you also got to have the confidence in that guy. Like, I was never that guy because of being a poor free throw shooter, but I played with a guy, Penny Hardaway. He wanted that shot. I played with a guy with Kobe Bryant. He wanted that shot. D-Wade wanted that shot. Steve Nash wanted that shot. So, you know, it's nice to have a guy like that on your team.
You know, there's a difference, Zeke, when a guy's got it going and he's cooking and he's hot and he makes the game-winning shot. But for Tyrese Halliburton, he kind of had an off night. They took the ball out of his hands in the third quarter, and it seemed to really work for them. But when it came down to that final shot, he had all the confidence in the world.
Well, the Pacers are a team where, you know, they play an old-school style of basketball. They have 6, 7 guys in double figures. They're not dependent on one guy to be the go-to guy. So when you talk about Tyrese having that last shot and being able to knock it down and being comfortable with it, you know, that's how they play. And when I look at that last shot, he's got 4 options. I mean, you know, Pascal on the backdoor cut is open right there. Obi Toppin is open on the other side. You know, defensively, this was just a total breakdown. Look how open Toppin is right there. And so Tyrese having the shot, but also being a creator also. So, you know, I look at that as a total breakdown, but he was able to make the shot and take the shot. But OKC broke down defensively in a lot of different areas on that single play.
There will come a time where they will say he can do it. And so we have to get the ball out of his hands. You know, I watched him, and even in the last series with Brunson, those guys will make the play. But the play you're going to have to make, to me, would you have to be a passer. I'm not going to allow you to break the defense down to get a shot off. You have proven that you will make it. Okay, now we have to see if you have a Steve Kerr on your team, because we're not going to just allow you to take the shot. And in key moments, this guy, along with SGA, who really hasn't been in close moments in this postseason because their team has been so productive, but this guy's proven, Halliburton has proven that he can knock down shots. You have to get the ball out of his hands early if you want to win in close games.
You know, Shaq, when I look at the Thunder and I look at that 12-2 run at the end of the game, and it seemed as if for them, they went away from their strength of their two bigs. They didn't start Isaiah Hartenstein. Chet Holmgren and Hartenstein had played over 200 minutes in the playoffs together. They didn't play a single minute in game one on the court together. What do you make of that?
Because, you know, the dangers of playing big ball is you got to have guys that can score. Chet was not having a good game. Hartenstein is not a guy that can score, even though he's been shooting a high percentage with that little flip shot. You know, their offense started to get stale. They wanted to go small ball. They wanted to, you know, try to, you know, create some offense for themselves. What I don't like about this finals, there ain't no animosity here. Like, I want to see some bowls. I want to see something. Like, I heard the Pacers coaching staff, they were super complimentary of OKC. Their hands are wonderful. They're this, they're that. But then they said something very interesting. But if it's a close game, we like our chances. And I do believe that, but, like, I wanted to be more animosity. I think
animosity comes like at game 3.
Nah.
I don't know if it starts from, you know, unless there's a history.
Wait, we're talking animosity? Zeke.
No, but this guy, but the animosity comes from the teams that they already have been playing.
But listen,
first time these teams are really in anything that's consequential.
I'm speaking from facts.
Finish and then
I'm speaking from facts, because when we played y'all in the finals, Hakeem Olajuwon was my guy. Worked out with him in the summer. We had the same agent. He embarrassed me. So now whoever I'm playing in the finals gonna get this work.
And there's a certain edge of anger that brings out a little bit more intensity that you need to play with in big games and also in the finals. And if you don't have that, if you're not willing to go to that edge of what Shaq just, you know, described as anger, right? Using that word as anger. But you have to be that, and that's why you hear a lot of athletes talk in the third person, because you have to become something other than your normal self in these situations, and you got to have a little edge about you so your opponent feels that intensity coming off you. But if you coming out there calm, cool, collected, and your opponent don't feel no intensity or no anger or no threat,
anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
But
as we saw yesterday.
I would say this. You argue with me if you think I'm wrong. No, disagree with me rather if you think I'm wrong. I think the Indiana Pacers play with that. I think Tyrese Halliburton plays with that edge.
Yes.
He does.
He does this to Dame Lillard.
Yes.
He does this to Reggie Miller.
Yes.
He talks it. He talks the talk.
Yes.
So
and
did
he
that
walked
give
the
the
walk.
Pacers the edge? Because to me, it sounds like you're agreeing with what Shaq said about the Pacers came out with.
No, but I'm just saying, I feel it's here. But about game 3, you get a little pissed off at seeing it.
I'm pissed off from day one.
Yeah, day one.
I just think at times. I don't know if these teams play each other twice a year.
Okay, Ken.
I don't care.
When I first met you, when we first played against each other, I was real nice to you until we got on that court.
Kenny, you seem like you got a memory there.
No. So, you know, Isaiah was
real nice to you until we got on the court.
He was your favorite point guard's favorite point guard.
Yes.
You come into the league and you see Isiah Thomas, And, before the game, we come and shoot around and we're passing. And he's like, hey, young fella. Hey, we from New York and North Carolina. He's giving me the whole, I call it the Thanksgiving treatment. He's fattening me up. And then the first play, him and Dumas, they just gave me I'm running on the side. I'm not even at the ball.
Yeah, got to do that.
Oh, it's like that. Okay.
Yeah. So animosity from jump.
Well,
that was a regular season.
That's a regular season game.
Without question. Like 11. And intensity that you must have when you step out on the floor. If your opponent don't feel that, right, then they're going to feel comfortable throughout the course of the game.
Yeah, I was not
comfortable.
The reason
like
for
Indiana felt comfortable yesterday.
And the reason for that
or the
is
other day.
You have to take advantage of this moment. Yeah, you're young and you're spry, but there's no promise that you're getting back here. We got new people coming in the league. So you're here. Let's go and get it done so the outcome is in our favor.
OKC, you're saying basically OKC is not playing with that.
No.
So
I agree with that.
Okay.
So here's the question for you, Shaq, because before the game, the pregame show before game one, you said, okay, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I want to see it. Now, he took 30 shots. He finished with 38, but really no one else scored over 20. Do you think he brought that intensity?
And I said that OKC is a dangerous team, but they're more dangerous when three people, Isaiah's going to touch on this a little more, when three people are playing at their level. If you take away 2 out of the 3 and it's a close game like Indiana wants, then you have a chance. 6 points is embarrassing. 6 points is embarrassing.
That's Chet Holmgren you're talking.
Yeah, and we talked about it, before game one. Indiana is going to take one of your best players away or one of your best scorers away. When they took Chet away, how did they take him away? They gave SGA more, right? So SGA takes 30 shots. And we say, well, Chet's not having a good game. But I counted 4 or 5 times where Chet ran up and down the court and didn't touch the ball. He didn't take it out of bounds. He didn't get a rebound. He didn't get a swing pass. And then all of a sudden you're throwing it to him and he's got to take a shot. Now, this is similar to what we used to do to Jordan and the Bulls. Couldn't stop Jordan, but you would give him a lot of shots. You would give him a lot of attempts. And, yeah, he would end up with the game with having 30. But he'd take 30 shots. Pippen, on the other hand, would get 6 shots. Hodges would get 4 shots. And the shot disbursements, when it came down to crunch time, those guys haven't touched the ball the whole game. Now you're asking them to step up and make shots. And in this league today, Shaq, you're asking them to step up and make 3-point shots. They're not even getting layups. So, I think if we see SGA take 30 shots again, we know that Chet is out of the game because of the shot distribution and the shot attempts.
Well, to that point, Tyrese Halliburton only took 13 shots, right? And I look at the Pacers bench, what they were able to do. That 12-2 run to end the game, Kenny. I mean, this is a team that was down by 15 with 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They were down by 9 with 3 minutes to go. What do you think was the key to that turnaround at the end of the game for the Pacers?
Well, they stopped turning the basketball over. They were turning the ball over
20 in the first half.
At an exorbitant rate. And so they couldn't get into their offense. You couldn't get shot attempts when you're not even shooting the basketball. So that might be a little deceptive about the number of shots that he took. But secondly, the Pacers showed that they could play slow and win a game. There wasn't fast break points. I would argue that neither team had over 15 without even looking. 15 fast break points. So it was a slow game. And you would say if it's a slow game, the Pacers would never win. So for me, they won slow. The Pacers, they stopped turning the basketball over. And then on the other end, I'm going to piggyback on what Isiah said. On those turnovers, I thought that Oklahoma City was more selfish than I ever seen.
Gotcha.
They did not pass the ball. The ball did not move, and other guys didn't touch the basketball.
Yeah, the stat to back that up, off of their 14 steals, they were 2 for 12 from the field and turned it over right back 2 more times. So that's something. Their conversion rate is normally through the roof.
So we asked, why did they not convert on those turnovers?
Yes.
Right? And the reason why they didn't convert is because when you turn the ball over below the foul line, and this is where center play, Shaq and, the big centers back in the day, it was so important because when they made turnovers, it was below the foul line. And when you turn it over below the foul line, it gives your defense a chance to set. OKC normally turns you over above the foul line. And we'll look at the turnover. So this is a turnover below the foul line. Now you see Indiana had a chance to get 4 people back. And again, turnover below the foul line. When you turn the ball over below the foul line, it gives your defense a chance to get back. You see Indiana has already got 4 people back. That's why they couldn't score in transition. OKC normally turns you over above the foul line. And when they turn you over above the foul line, now you get a chance to have the 2-on-1s and the 3-on-1s. So those old school coaches that we used to have, their intelligence about the game, that's why they always say we played inside out. You play inside out so you can, if you do make a mistake, it's below the foul line. You give your defense a chance to get set, get back, and you eliminate their transition baskets. So that's what Indiana was able to do. And we talked about T.J. McConnell being able to start the offense below the foul line. And a couple of times you see Indiana make passes, and they didn't even put the ball on the floor. So if OKC don't turn you over above the foul line, you're not going to be able to get transition buckets.
It's interesting watching assistant coach Lloyd Pierce, who's been a head coach in this league as well, talking to Miles Turner, who had 6 turnovers in that game 1. A great look we got there. Some great coaching before game 2 here at the NBA Finals. Shaq, presented by YouTube TV.
Presented by Shaq.